Welcome back to the No Limit Crypto channel. So in this video we are looking at Solana. Solana is finally making a move. It's not the move we wanted, but Solana is doing something. So if you enjoy this daily Solana and other cryptocurrency videos, please consider liking and subscribing. That helps me out massively. So let's get into the chart right here. So what is happening? We had this descending triangle forming, which obviously is a bearish pattern. I was talking about in an uptrend, these bearish patterns often break to the upside, but we did break this to the downside this time. And the target of this triangle is kinda bad, but there's one thing about where we are right now that is actually not super bad. There's one thing that still can save us and keep us on the bull trend, on the uptrend. So we are not even yet in a downtrend, I think. Not even on the shorter term, we are not in a downtrend yet. And the reason for that is, well, we can go on the daily chart and take a look right here. We have this low over here. So basically, I think we were going to find support somewhere around this 135 mark, possibly. But if we successfully create a higher low, I don't think we are on a downtrend. I think at that point we can start making some sort of assumptions about the future, where we might go. But it might obviously not play out like that. We might just blast through 135 and go to the downside, and at that point I think we are starting at least a shorter term correction to the downside. And like, why I think we might find some sort of support right here right now is because we are in the oversold section on the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. But obviously when we are in a downtrend, the RSI doesn't like really care if we are in the oversold section. Like, it just keeps going down. It doesn't have to correct immediately to the upside. We can stay here for a longer time too. So that is not a definitive confirmation that we are just gonna reverse right here and go to the upside. So, but before we see other things happen, I think we need to still look at the downside and look at the scenarios that might happen if we break. Because I think we need to have, like, those are important things to know and be aware of and be ready for it. So what could we see happen here? We could still see on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour we have a lot of time right here. We could still see something like getting back down here to the 135 and even coming up to this 150 line again, which was a pretty hard support line for us. And we would retest it as resistance now. So often when we break supports or resistances, we can come back down or up to test them as either support or resistance. So in this case, we went down through the support, we would come back up and test it as resistance before we continue the move to the downside. And at that point, I think we're gonna find some support at 125, maybe retrace back up a bit. And like this, we could be taking out these levels until 100. I think at 100, that's where I think we would stop. So that is my worst case scenario right now, is a $100 Solana and then a reverse to the upside. That is the worst case scenario. And if we start doing this to the downside, let's actually keep that there. What does need to happen for us to turn bullish again? Well, The thing that needs to start happening is we need to start making higher highs and higher lows again. This is the key to find that a trend is reversing. No indicators, no nothing. This is just simple price action. So for the trend to reverse again, look for higher lows and higher highs. So I think something around this, I think this wasn't the best drawing right here, but to the downside, I think this seems like a pretty reasonable scenario for us to do. So come back up always and test the supports as resistances and then start moving up. So if we, and this becomes a case right now if we break this 135 line. So if we on the daily chart create a lower low right here, at that point start looking at these downsides. So why I think the 100 is the lowest that we're going to is because we have a confluence with this support line that I have right here at 95 with the 0.618 Fibonacci line, and all in combination with the $100 is such a strong psychological level that I think that is where we are going to find support at the latest. But if we break the tough psychological level of $100, you can imagine that's when people, like if people aren't selling up here, that's when they get rid of everything and we just blast through. And at that point we are looking at this 0.786. But I don't think that is going to happen. I think 0.618 is the lowest that we could go to. And after that we start looking at the upside again. But as I said, lower low right here, start looking at this scenario. If we create a higher low, I am going to make another video and we are going to start to look at the upside again. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much.